Hey everyone, Ryan here at eTrailer. Do you do stuff like this with your rig? You know, pulling a trailer around when you're off-roading, maybe doing a little bit of overlanding, or even just use your trailer for everyday towing, or a little bit of both? If the answer is yes, and you're looking for a trailer brake controller, then check this one out. It's specifically designed for situations like this. It's made by Redarc. It's called the Tow Pro Trail. A really nice setup. Today we have it set up on a Jeep Gladiator, but it is available for a handful of different makes and models. This is what our controller looks like set up in our vehicle here. And probably my favorite part about all the Redarc controllers, for that matter, is how they look. You know, it's almost like a factory type option. Given that you can only see this knob here. That's the only thing you're going to be able to see. The rest of the controller is going to live up underneath the dash on your vehicle. And so you're not going to have to deal with some of the more bulky traditional type controllers. You know, there's nothing wrong with these by any means, but you know, a lot of these vehicles now are more compact and don't have a ton of space, and so having something a little bit bulkier mounted up might be in your way and kind of be an eyesore. So one of the main differences with this one is that off-road feature, off-road mode. So it gives you complete control. So you can change between that and everyday mode like we're in now. So in everyday mode, the light will be blue. And we'll go over a little bit more what that means in a moment here. But whenever you find yourself going off-road or you're wanting complete control or full user control, you can change that mode. So you want to rotate the knob all the way counterclockwise, and I'll put our vehicle, turn it on here, and you want to push down on the brake, push the knob twice quickly, let go of the brake. You can see it turned green, and now we know that we are in that off-road mode. Whenever this is in the off-road mode, how the brake controller is going to work is it's going to send power to the trailer's brakes, you know, at the same rate, regardless on how hard you're pushing the brake pedal down in your vehicle. So if you're barely on the brake, it'll send that same power, what you have it set at, you know, over a given time there to the trailer. Or if you're all the way to the floor on the brakes, it's going to do the same thing. And so that can really be beneficial when you're going off-roading over rough terrain, slick terrain. You know, it gives you better control, right? You can really dial it in, make a small adjustment by turning the knob to figure out what your setup likes in that particular scenario. I went ahead, put it back in everyday mode just by doing what we did to put it into off-road mode. You know, turning the knob, pushing the brake, hitting the button twice and letting off the brake. And so it went back to blue. Now, when it's in this everyday mode, you know, the title kind of says it all, right? This is just for your normal towing, maybe when you're on the roads, highways and stuff, and heading to go off-roading or go overlanding, whatever you're doing. This is ideally what you'd want to have it set at, or at least a lot of people. And I say that because this more or less acts as like a proportional type controller from this point, meaning however hard you hit the brakes in your vehicle, the trailer is going to respond the same way. So like we talked about earlier, you know, if you're halfway on the brake, trailer is going to respond similar manner. If you're all the way on the brake, trailer is going to more or less replicate that. And so like this on normal roads, it just makes for a more complete and predictable stop. With that said, this controller is really capable with a lot of different setups, meaning it'll work with pretty much anything you got, right? So it's compatible with electric trailer brakes, electric over hydraulic, and it's good for trailers that have 1 to 3 axles. The knob also lets you control brake force. So you can turn it all the way up to 10 or all the way down to 0. And 0, you won't have any braking output, right? And this is more or less just to kind of suit your needs for whatever you're towing on your trailer, right? So, you know, a good place to start is usually about halfway. If you come to find out maybe your trailer is empty, you don't need a whole lot of extra braking force, right? You can dial that down a little bit. But then once you get it all loaded up and come to realize you could use a little bit of extra force, you can ramp that up to a higher number. And you're able to do that in both modes, both normal everyday use as well as a off-road mode. And you can also apply just the trailer's brakes, right? So to help with sway and things like that. A lot of people refer to this as a manual override, but what you would do, if you push down on the button, you can see the light changing from that blue, meaning no power, to that purple to red, meaning you got braking power going on. And that's just going to apply just the trailer's brakes. If you do find yourself in a sway situation where the trailer's kind of starting to get away from you, you can hit that and slow the trailer down, get things back under control. Something pretty neat is built into this controller is what's known as a park brake feature. So let's say if you're at a red light or something and you're stationary, right? You're on the brake. If you're not moving for a few seconds, the controller will apply the trailer's brakes in an intelligent manner to figure out what it needs to do to keep your vehicle stationary, right? So if you're on flat level ground, you're on the brakes, probably don't need a whole lot of extra force on the trailer's brakes to prevent you from rolling, right? And it might ramp the power down some or vice versa, depending on the situation. So, you know, it's pretty cool that that's like that because, you know, it just helps prevent unnecessary wear and tear on your trailer's brakes. One thing that's pretty convenient with these brake controllers is they give you some extras, and that usually helps make installation a little bit easier. So you get this mounting bracket where the controller bolts to, and just gives you some more versatility. We used it on our vehicle here today, and then depending on your exact vehicle, you may get a handful or a couple mounting panels, right, that you could use if you wanted. We didn't use them on ours, but it's always an option. Rather have them and not need them than the other way around. And for whatever reason too, if your particular vehicle, you don't plan on using the custom plug, or your vehicle don't have a custom tow package plug or anything like that, all these are also going to come with the universal connector if you need to set it up that way. As far as getting this installed, you know, every vehicle is going to be set up a little bit different, but Redarc does a really good job of making things as easy as possible with the custom fit plugs into your tow package connector, right? You know, you got these mounting brackets. It makes mounting the box up a little more straightforward, gives you some options on how to do that. Mount up your switch. That's really all there is to it. So ultimately, at the end of the day, an excellent brake controller. You know, I'm a big fan of these Redarcs. Had quite a bit of experience with them and some of their older models especially as well. And you can't really ask for too much more. You know, you have ultimate control, extremely versatile. They look great, you know, almost like that factory type option. And, you know, if you find yourself using your vehicle on everyday driving and going off-roading, doing some overlanding, whatever the case may be, this will be a great solution for you. But with that said, I think that'll about do it for our look at of the line of Redarc Tow Pro Trail Trailer Brake Controllers.